Welcome back to the Titanium Hangar. This is Mike, and I'm coming at you with the weekly news and review for August 21st, 2022. Of course, we have Masterpiece Transformers news, Legends, and Mainline. Lots of Transformer stuff going on. Super 7's got another round of the Ninja Turtles coming. Another wave. Robin Toys got a few things going on. Pre-orders and some new stuff that, well, new pictures to older projects that they've already talked about. Got a little bit of stuff going on with Gijoe, Super 7's reaction, some other stuff going on. We also have some Star Wars news, and let me just tell you, Star Wars is making the news in a negative way. We'll talk about this. There's also a guy becoming a YouTube internet sensation for the wrong reasons. And lots of financial news this week. I'm going to talk about it and more coming up. Alright, starting out with what's new at Show Z, something called the Heat Boys HB0018 Tmnt Leonardo, and this is made of ABS diecast. It is 9.8 inches tall in the, I guess, the bot mode, or the turtle mode. You get a main figure, and a couple of launchers, a couple of weapons, dart, and some mini weapons there. So, with all of this, pretty cool, due out late December, but I don't think they've got a price just yet. $2 down. There's the 0G Studio 1/100th MG Judge Gundam Model Kit Blue version up for sale for $104. Now, this is a pre-order, and they went up and were in stock, and they say sold out. I'm pretty sure more will come in stock, but they were in stock when I pulled it up. Now they are out of stock. Sold out that fast. That's amazing. But anyway, this figure comes with the main figure, dual metal scythe weapons, 3 electroplated gold plates, and 2 color decals. I thought it looked really cool. Fans Toys Chomp, their Skull Cruncher, is on sale for $160 right now, 20% off if you want to get this, and looks like free shipping to the United States. And Fans Toys Hoist is still available for pre-order if you're interested, but it is $50 down. So this week we did get more information on this. This is the MDLX Megatron. Now this is not the big one. This is the smaller 7-inch tall one. It has 45 points of articulation. Will feature die cast combined with 3 zeros, paint applications, nice selection of accessories. So it's going to be available in fourth quarter 2020. So later this year, fourth quarter. And it does look pretty good. It is a little bit stylized. It is a little bit smaller. And so they're targeting that market. I actually kind of thought at first these would scale well with the Masterpiece. It's a little bit shorter than Masterpiece. It's almost closer to, and pretty close to, more or less a mainline or a chug, or, you know, to put with your Hasbro stuff. Masterpiece news is really, really ultra light right now, but I do want to say that this guy is shipping. It was supposed to be shipping last week, and some people already got theirs, but here's proof that it is starting to arrive. So, pretty cool, pretty exciting. The next Fans Toys release. This is going to be one of those figures that I'm curious how sales go, because it's a character I don't think that many people care about, or are interested in, or invested in, but at the same time, it is a Fans Toys release, right? Sorry, there's not much going on in Masterpiece World right now, but there's this new fresh image of Rising Force, and they're dead in, and I think it does look okay. It looks pretty good. Now, remember, this is Legends, so we're getting down to Legends, and so with this guy, I do think he looks pretty good. And overall, not a bad Legends figure, not a bad Legends representation. And I personally still believe, if you're making a Minosaur, the combined mode is the most important. And then, of course, this bot mode doesn't look that bad, does not really look horrible. And so with that, I'm kind of curious to see how this entire set turns out. And I start to wonder, will they do a box set down the road, and all these questions. It would be nice to see this set actually completed. It's a little scary. New company that's been talking about this for 4 years now. Will it actually get made all the way? Will they go all the way with it? I think they will. Magic Square is making a Diaclone version of their Ironhide and Ratchet mold, which it's good mold, and I like it. And I actually should have transformed them back. I mean, it was actually really easy to take them back from alt mode to bot, and I think it's usually easier that way. Anyway, it's a little bit involved with a transformation, but more satisfying going back to bot mode. I did review both of these at the same time on one video. That was a lot of fun. But here we go, and that's what it looks like. Hey, I forgot to put that little antenna thing up there, that little radar dish on top. So, what's smaller than a quarter or a thumbnail? But it has a big hole in your heart. Well, these micro figure Transformers. Now, these are the ones I've seen something very similar to this. I'm pretty sure it's the same stuff hanging on a Target shelf right near the checkout by the cards and all that. And so here's exactly how small they are. That's very small, and maybe I should be a hand model. That'd be fun. I should do that too. But anyway, they look pretty cool. Very highly detailed. I think they're articulated and stuff too. They look that they might have some articulation to them. Then again, I might be wrong. Heck, I don't even know. But still, looking at them, super duper tiny. I think they're about $7, but they're probably more expensive now than they were last time I even noticed them. But really cool. They also sell stuff at the $1.25 tree, and I don't know if they're as good or as detailed, but they're pretty small also. Okay, again, we got more pictures from Hasbro. Yes, we're already into mainline Chug Hasbro, light week of news in the Transformers world, but sort of rehashes of pictures or more pictures. But we've got, this here is the Megatron Dragon, looking pretty good overall. We've seen this before, but it's different pose, different angles, and all that kind of stuff. I think it does look pretty good. I think it's going to be pretty tall when it's all said and done, and it's going to be very impressive. More impressive than the vintage figure, and I actually kind of like the vintage one, so it does look pretty good. So here's a look at Crankcase. Now, I haven't really featured any of these pictures of Crankcase yet, but this is what he looks like in the bot mode, and not really a bad looking figure overall. Kind of like the color scheme, looks pretty good. And then we have, here he is in the alt mode, and that doesn't look bad either. So pretty clean overall for, especially for a mainline Hasbro release and deluxe scale at the price point of, they're now going up to like $25, right? Here's another picture of Skullgrin, and yes, he is a pretender. So I got a little, I don't know, side news about pretenders. I'm hearing we're going to be getting quite a few pretenders, and there's a chance they may all be in different scales. I think that would be a mistake if they do that, though. They should all be the same scale. It's a group of figures that should be the same scale if they scaled that way back in the day. They're scaling them down, making them smaller than the vintage line, and then they'll be kind of all over the place. I don't think that's smart, if that's true. But anyway, here's the alt mode, and it looks like a little tank, so pretty cool. And we've seen these pictures. These are just different, bigger, better angles, all that kind of stuff. Point Blank, which I don't know why sites keep referring to as Blanker. It actually does say Point Blank on the box, so that's the official name, and I like it. And I think the figure's alright overall. I just don't like the wider hips. I would have liked them sleeker and more narrow, but it just is what I would like. Maybe the Masterpiece, the KFC, or whichever one of those, the Make Toys, sorry. They ruined it for me for a mainline version. That one is really nice looking figure. Here we go with the alt mode, and a nice looking alt mode, and it really does look G1. A lot of people are really bashing on the Target Master, and they probably should be, because it does look like it was designed back in the 80s. The Target Master was designed in the 80s, right? So we've got pictures of Inferno, which I think he looks fantastic, by the way. And so with that, this Inferno getting a lot of love with a great photo shoot and all that kind of stuff, but also the fact that it's a really cool character, it's a good figure. Beast Wars is doing really well, and I think that all these iterations are very good for all the Beast Wars fans out there. I like the media. I don't really care for the G1 figures, but I'm more excited about these, so I'm picking them up. Here he is in his alt mode, his Ant for the royalty. So my queen looks very good in both modes. I actually don't even remember what the original, the 96 version looks like. We got Studio Series Crosshairs, and yeah, we did have a live stream. I think that's one of the things they announced on the live stream or showed off on the live stream, but I didn't really watch it, so it's interesting looking figure. It looks like the show, more or less, if you're into it. Here is the alt mode, which I really feel like Bavers focused really hard on the alt modes, and I really think it was because of a tie-in with GM at the time, so that's really my belief about partially why we have designs that we have. But the alt modes look fantastic, don't they? Speaking of fantastic alt modes, this is Hot Rod. Hot Rod does look pretty good, so pretty cool looking overall. Nice looking alt mode right there, and then here we go with the figure in the bot mode, and the box, the packaging, all that kind of stuff. Still going with the open packaging, Studio Series, all that good stuff. Number 93. There's 93 Studio Series already. That's pretty awesome. Here's Ironhide with the same pose as last week. It's like they pose these things the worst they can, I guess. They want to try to get as much posability with them. Put them in an A stance. They look best in the A stance. Don't be doing this. But anyway, there's the packaging, the box, all that kind of stuff. And here is an alt mode again, just showing how the engineering's on the outside instead of hidden on the inside, which is where I would have expected it. The hinges on the inside would have made more sense, but I'm sure it saves time, engineering, all that kind of stuff. And we have the Fallen with the packaging in the box, and it looks like he's going to be in a closed box, so that's something interesting right there. And I didn't catch, is he a leader? Maybe he's a leader? So anyway, there he is with the packaging and just pretty much what you would expect. And then there he is in his alt mode, a supersonic jet from another planet, I guess. So there it is, the Fallen. So one more thing that I guess they discussed on this live stream was the Rumble. And so the reason Rumble's blue is because Rumble is blue. And they said end of story. No, they actually said it's because it's the movie. And so that's what it says in the notes there. That it's because they're basing it on the movie because it's studio series. And if he was blue in the movie and they called him Rumble in the movie, he's Rumble. So, hey, studio series, Rumble. At first glance, you might think Rumble is just a remake of the other figures that they've made in the past. The Rumble and Frenzy they made in the past. It actually is slightly taller, slightly better proportions, and I don't know, it's just a little bit too light to me though. I would have liked a deeper blue and stuff like that. Anyway, that's a better improvement, but they do transform to be the same size cassettes and all that kind of stuff, so that works out. So last week, I didn't understand why Red Cog was like 31 bucks, and so now we're getting this Shattered Glass, Slicer, and Exosuit. I don't know the price yet, but this is appearing to be a 2-in-1, another 2-in-1. So the Red Cog gets a bunch of extra weapons and accessories. That's why he's $31 deluxe. And so this figure here, this is a recolor of Wheeljack and a Shattered Glass. And it shows on the back of the package that he comes with all this other stuff, Slicer and Exosuit. So he comes with a whole other figure. So that's outstanding. That's fantastic. So I can understand a higher price point on something like this. That makes a lot more sense. And so I'm paying a lot more attention to that kind of stuff. Here's what they look like in bot mode. So looking pretty cool. And that's a nice looking color scheme. And it's an interesting take on something to do with a Wheeljack. So we got Transformers, our authentic Titan changers, Optimus, Primal revealed. And what I want to say is this is one of those one-step changers or simple quick change figures, or whatever they want to call them. But the thing is that this is what most people refer to as junk toys, or like the $5 ones. $5 ones are probably $10 now that you would probably find at Family Dollar, Dollar General, whatever. But I have to admit that I'm looking at this and I think it looks really good for one of those that you get at Dollar General or whatever. Because I bought a few of those just to check them out, and yes, they do classify as junk. But this looks a lot better. Maybe I turn around and it's completely hollow in the back. That might be the catch. Oh, so what's all showing up around the world in your neighborhood? So one thing that I'm seeing showing up that's pretty interesting is this Velocitron Speedia. It's just like overnight, it all showed up at once. And of course, Cosmos was gone. So I've actually seen it show up and sell out of the Deluxe. Was it Deluxe Wave? Show up and sell out, show up and sell out. And then show up in droves, multiple cases at once. That's how I got my one Cosmos. I'm actually quite interested in this RC. I've got pretty much every other iteration of RC except the Cyberverse one, but I've got the rest of them, and I'm pretty interested in seeing how this one differs in hand from the 30th anniversary of the generations, all that kind of stuff. It looks pretty good. I think it's a pretty interesting idea what they did. So you're not just getting the same old figure again. It actually is a Studio Series version. Pretty interesting. So we got Studio Series Core Wave 2 out. Not too exciting, but you look down below there and you see that we've got that Legacy Beast Wars showing up. Okay, in financial news that went on this week, it is impossible to untether finance from politics. I'm going to do my best here. But with the Inflation Reduction Act of 2022, they're basically spending money on a bunch of stuff, whatever. Here's the breakdown right here. But every economist agrees that it's not going to reduce inflation at all. In fact, spending money, expanding the money supply because you don't have that money to spend is the definition of inflation. Now, what's going on are stuff like the next story. Now, there's a whole slew of issues going on here, but with inflation, companies outpricing consumers, outpricing collectors, we see things like Target. Target taking a huge hit, 90% down in profit. Now, not sales, but profit. because of excess inventory, excess unwanted inventory. And so what did they do? They slashed it to 70% off, some cases 90% off. They got rid of it. They passed on trucks. Some trucks that were supposed to deliver to targets never got delivered to target. The end net result in this is that it's a good move. They take one bad hit, and then they could hopefully go to smooth selling. I don't think it's actually going to be smooth selling, but hopefully, one good thing is they freed up space so that they can actually get new product in. Walmart, on the other hand, is only knocking a little off. $5, $10. They're not going that deep. They're not even at 50% on most of this stuff. And yes, a lot of the stuff you see on the shelves are junk, but this is over in the garden center. This is 2 long aisles and even more aisles in other places of clearance that they can't get rid of. This problem is very big. It's a retail excess inventory problem that is going to affect consumers down the road. I'll explain here in just a second. But these are makeshift shelves, 7 of them, stacked and crammed full of clearance. One thing that they usually do is send it to Ollie's and all of those kind of places, Ross. But at Ollie's, here we go, almost 40 Landos that still won't sell. It's crazy how backed up even the discounters are with excess inventory that nobody wants. So one thing's going to happen. There's going to be massive clearances, obviously. Hopefully we can free this up so we can get our stuff. But I'm going to be doing one of 2 things. If I absolutely want it and I can't live without it, I'm pre-ordering it somewhere, paying the little bit extra to pre-order it. And if it's something that I really don't care about, I'm going to let it pass, wait for a clearance, and if I miss it, I miss it. That is what I'm going to do because of the fact that I expect to see tons of clearance, but I also expect a lot of stuff to miss retail because of this. This is like an apocalypse of retail. So this past week, this YouTuber named JBIII Collector, or something along those lines, had basically made a video, I think about 2 weeks ago, but it started gaining some steam this past week, and it's got like 30,000 views on it, but he ranked YouTubers and made a lot of people upset. He ranked YouTubers that we probably all know, between the Foosh and the Pixel Dan and Jobby the Hong, Toy Galaxy, and he rated them S, A, B, C, D, and F tier, and all of that kind of stuff. So obviously a lot of viewers didn't agree with the ranking. And so I only want to say 2 things about this. First of all, he had I think he had 100 subscribers, now he's got 600 just because of this video, I guess. But also looking at this, I would never rate YouTubers. If I were to say, hey, I would stop it at B and say, what would you need to do to get better? But that's just me and the way I would do it. A lot of YouTubers that we know were upset they weren't even on the list. I was like, I'm not on the list because he's not interested in Transformers. He said that a lot. I don't like Transformers, so he's not going to find me. We're not in the same world. But he did put Prime versus Prime and Toy Galaxy as B. So that was kind of interesting, his opinion. But with that, I reached out to him to ask him, I wanted to find out what's your dislike ratio on this, because they hide it now. And I was curious, because he has almost 30,000 views and only 600 likes. So I would imagine he's got a few thousand dislikes. Getting into other news, we got Ramen Toy and their 80s Commanders. We've got the Antagonist Cyborg and their Land Drone. They should be up for pre-order right now. So if you go to the RamenToy.com to pre-order those, if you want to get in on them. Ramen Toy dropped pictures and hints of the Marshall, which is their take on a Bravestarr, and I think it looks pretty good. It's going to be in the 6-inch scale, the 1/12 scale, so smaller than the vintage one, so it should fit with the rest of the figures that they're making, and of course your Marvel Legends and Star Wars Black Series and all that kind of stuff. So it's what it looks like right now so far with the prototype renders. I think it does look fantastic. And more pictures of their Apache Commander for the 1/12 scale. Now there's a couple things going on. They have offered anybody that's already pre-ordered the retro, they offered everybody to get a recast, and it's a little bit higher price, $260, and I'm in on that. So the retro bigger one, they are recasting. They're only going to make 100 or something like that, and something like that. So I hope that gets made. But this is the 6-inch 1/12 scale, and it should be going up for pre-order down the road. They are going to let me know when it's up for pre-order, and I'll let y'all know. But I'm excited about this line going forward. Okay, more reaction figures for G.I. Joe that have been shown for Super 7. So looking at this, we have a Zartan, we have another version of Cobra Commander, I think it's the 3rd or 4th version of Cobra Commander. We have Shipwreck, which is based off of that mold for just a generic sailor. no surprise there. The bat, which looks cool, it does come with all of his swappable hand accessories, which is fantastic. And the back, that's probably the best value out of all these figures because of all the stuff he comes with. Pretty awesome. Cover Girl, that's cool. And then Snake Eyes. So I'm picking and choosing on this line because of the $18 price point. Hopefully I can find deals and sales here and there. Target had them on sale for as cheap as $6 for a while, just depending on the character. So I hope that happens again. Now, I think we've seen this before, but again, they're showing more pictures of the female officers, and that's kind of cool. It's kind of cool. It's kind of fun. If they're going to make that mold, they're going to make it in all these different color variations, which is nice. And so you can have a nice little scene of female officers. And we got these officers here, Gijoe Trooper. So it just looks like a generic camouflage trooper. Pretty cool. And all the different variations that you can buy. You can buy them all, or just one. So we got another picture, a digital render-ish picture of Cobra Commander and what he's going to look like. And so that's pretty cool. And I did back 2 of his tanks at the last minute. It was very expensive, very painful. I do want to say that I've backed several HasLab campaigns. Usually it takes a day or two for them to withdraw that money or to charge your account. It took them like 15 minutes after it was over. Like within the hour, it already hit my credit card. I was shocked because it's never been that fast, but you know, that was fast. That was record lightning speed. But anyway, looks pretty good. Looks pretty cool. We've been starved for a good classic Cobra Commander for so long, and I really look forward to also getting the one in the main line, but this one's going to have the retro packaging. Okay, so Super 7's also going to be making some more Wave 8. So they're on 8 waves. So Wave 8 of their Ultimates Turtles is going to have Shredder, Space Raph, Robot Rocksteady, Genghis Frog. So that's those. I have to admit, though, they do look pretty cool. They're based off of toy designs more than the tune or movie or any of that kind of stuff, because I guess they license out for each thing that they're doing, I guess. Or they want to be different. They want to make NECA. NECA's already got a stronghold on the tune. And so a lot of people say they like the Super 7 look and the style and all that kind of stuff. And I have to admit that some of these designs are really cool. Wave 8, right there. You know, when something's going on in the community, I go right for the jugular, and this is it. Hasbro had a bunch of reissues that they basically announced as canceled. Hasbro didn't actually announce this as like come out and tell the world. The Entertainment Earth and the distributors were announcing that Hasbro told them. So that kind of sucks the way they did that, but these are sought after figures. I'm confused. I'm perplexed that a company that wants to bamboozle us into buying the same figure with a slight repaint for the 8th time doesn't want to just put out that same figure, the original figure again. Like, wouldn't it be easier to put the original figure out again than to bamboozle us on the 8th repaint version of the same exact figure? I'm so confused. It makes no sense to me at all, unless they just didn't get enough pre-orders to feel like it was worth it. If they didn't feel like they were really going to have enough pre-orders for it to be worth it to do another run, that could actually be the answer. So in our current hard economic times, you would think the $10 figures would sell. Yeah, $10 figures would sell. $12 figures that are $10 figures don't. $10 figures priced $12 do not sell. I gotta tell you, I've seen these hanging on the pegs. I was sort of excited at first, but it sure does sting at $12. By the way, Target's regular price is $10.99, not $11.97, like we see at the Walmart. And in fact, the retro figures that are 5 points of articulation are $12, but the vintage collection figures are all regularly priced now at $10. Thanks to our good friends at yakface.com, we get to see pictures of the upcoming 40th anniversary Return of the Jedi Boba Fett. Okay, I'm not a fan of buying the same figure over and over and over and over and over, like Mandalorian and Boba Fett, but I'm a sucker for the vintage card back, and so that I'd be happy if all I did is collect on these card backs for the remainder of Black Series. Only buy them on this card back. But you can't guarantee you're going to get it, so you end up buying it in some weird, goofy-looking packaging, and then later on, maybe you'll get it in this packaging. But same thing's going to happen with Akbar, so here's Akbar on the 40th anniversary. So we don't know the whole lineup just yet, but that does look pretty good. and I'm excited for this. I was excited for Akbar even in the goofy packaging, but it actually, the modern packaging is nice looking packaging, but I prefer this. I'm a child of the 80s. I prefer this. So here's the back of the Boba Fett card back. Shows Boba Fett, Lando again, who was just put out. This is crazy, right? Lando was just put out in Archive, and now he's going. This is ridiculous. Anyway, then we're gonna get the Han that was just on the shelves and the Leia that was just on the shelves. I bought both of them on clearance for like 16 each. Then a Wicket, which is fantastic, and then a Biker Scout, which was just put out in an Archive wave. But still, there's 5 more because we don't really see the back of Akbar's. But again, Akbar is going to be an exclusive, so maybe it's a one-off. They're only going to do, what, 7? So there's rumors that there's going to be a possible third Halloween Black Series figure, but here are the 2 that we have heard of already, and we've seen them, but showing them again here, so I guess it's kind of fun. But we've got this trooper. It's a clone trooper skeleton. I guess it's a mix of clones and going to a party in Cobra Kai, right? Yeah, is that what it's all about? Are they gonna get in trouble for Cobra Kai? Anyway, then we have this Wookiee. It's like a werewolf Wookiee. So he's dressed up, and he's still, he's been losing some weight. He's slim. This is not the Chrysanthemum figure. It is a Chrysanthemum figure, but it's not the Chrysanthemum character, really. He's not big enough. But let's just repack that Chewbacca buck. Maybe that's where passing the buck comes from. Passing the action figure buck off is something else. So it's been a light week in news. I'm not angry or upset about that in the slightest, because we all need our pocketbooks to recover, our bank accounts to recover, our credit card balances to come down a bit, right? But let me know what other cool stuff is going on out there. What did I miss? What else happened that I did not know about or talk about? I'd like to know in the comments below. Like to stay up on this. Like and subscribe. Hanger out.